Hello, my name is Annika Sensrud, and today I will be presenting to you on administrative support research and how it pertains to working from home. This year has brought a lot of changes. We've had to learn how to wear masks and social distance, and you might not even recognize your friends in the grocery store anymore. But one of the biggest changes this has brought about is sending all of our workers home and learning how to work with that when conference rooms are now Zoom calls and collaboration is a series of emails. This has brought up a lot of problems and challenges, but has also given light to some possible advantages. Today, we'll be talking about all of these and how we can be successful in administration going forward. First, I'll start off with problems. From dishes in the sink to laundry that has to get done to your kids or your super cute dog, there are so many distractions at home. And when you're trying to get a job done, all of these things piling up around you can be very difficult to work with. Next, we have loneliness, which is just a problem right now in general, not even just working from home, but especially if you're not going into the office anymore, when that might have been your only way to see people. Now you never really see anyone. And this can affect your work too, because if you're not interacting with people, sometimes your ideas aren't flowing super well. And this can just cause a lot of problems if you're just lonely all the time. Next, we have miscommunication, and I'll use this comic strip to kind of demonstrate. The mom is waiting for the dad to ask her a question, and the dad's waiting for the mom, and what needs to be said never gets said. And this happens all the time in the workplace. If John is waiting for an email from Susie, but Susie's waiting for the email from John, and neither of them reach out first, it's never going to get communicated, which can lead to major, major problems in a business. Finally, I will talk about motivation. It can be super hard to get motivated when you know that nobody's going to see you or see the work that you're doing. And maybe you just feel, another 5 minutes in bed and then you get started late on your work and your work becomes sloppy. So if we aren't motivated, that can cause a lot of problems now that a lot of people are working from home. Now, some advantages and opportunities. For some people, it's much easier to work from home. They don't have the constant noise of the copying machine or people shuffling by their desk. And if they have a nice setup home office, it's actually a lot easier for them to stay focused and stay on task. Next up, I will talk about networking. So we are now realizing that through conferencing online, it is super easy to connect with people all over the world. So people who are now running remote businesses can live anywhere and still work for their company. And beyond that, we can see more people starting to work with other businesses that are in other areas because the communication is just stronger and easier now that we see the extent of how amazing it has been the past few months. Finally, I will talk about a new way of thinking with this crazy situation that's going on. In a matter of weeks, some businesses were able to move completely online and have been thriving ever since. I think this just really has shown people that their employees will adapt and they're capable of a lot more than they may have believed before. Knowing that we can make these changes so vast and quickly, I think has really spoken to how capable a business is of change and maybe will lead to more changes in the future. Now I want to talk about a way to be successful going forward from here. So a chance for leadership by administrative professionals. And I'll be using the 3 C's of remote leadership, which were presented by Jason Wingard in an article in Forbes. The first one is clarity. And what I mean by this is guidelines, expectations, and a measure of excellence. So guidelines are really just a way for the employee to know what am I expected to be doing. And you can't really see, if there's a big project due, the managers aren't going to be able to see the work that they're doing every day. It's very task-based. So there has to be a way to also measure what they are doing. And their productivity levels when you can't exactly see what they're doing every day. Next up is communication, which in my opinion is the most important thing in running a business. You have to be very clear in your communication, talking about the clarity, and keeping in touch often is super important too. Some people, their jobs, they just can't do them if they don't have the answers. So really just keeping up that constant communication while you're remote is super important as well. And finally, happy customer equals happy company. So if you don't communicate with your customer and you aren't clear on what you're doing and what you're doing for them, they're going to lose interest and your company will lose business. And then finally, I want to talk about connection. So this just means checking in on your employees. If your employees aren't doing well mentally, they're not going to be performing in their work very well. So really just take the time to connect, make sure they're doing okay so that your business can run successfully as well. I want to thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.